Hey, so if you're an avid blogger or podcaster you are essentially a content creator and you feature a lot of that on your website, I want to show you how to make that a lot easier for your users to find the right things that they're looking for. So there's two ways you can do this. Um, so this is my blog, and you can see that on the side here, I've got a search bar and I've got these categories that are um, take people to specific sections of my blog, right? So this is all Squarespace tutorials. These are only productivity tips, etc. So that's kind of how I've done it. I have this gorgeous sidebar that helps people find the right content. So how did I do that? Let's go through this really quick. First thing that I had to do was I had to purchase the code for this from Squarespace themes here, SQSP themes. And in its plugins, you'll see there's this one. This is one of the most, I use this all the time. So I actually purchased the commercial license to this so that I can use it on client websites, the business license here. It's not very expensive, especially if you're using it over and over and over again. Um, but it can be used for lots and lots of things. And so I've purchased this, and essentially the way it works is it creates, let's see here, you can see sidebar. The way it works is you create a page and you populate it with everything that you need. And then the code that you put in with very helpful and detailed instructions from the team here. Essentially what they do is it pushes the page that I've created right up next to my blog. So it puts two pages on one page so that I can have this blog sidebar in 7.1, because in Squarespace 7.0, a lot of the blogs had this feature. A lot of the templates and themes had this feature, but in 7.1 it doesn't. So, and then in order to make this functionality happen, all I did was let's come in here. I used a search bar, which is just a block that Squarespace has. And so if you scroll way down to the bottom here, you can see search. And I've got some custom code on it, but you can just change if you want it to be light or dark. You can decide if it does a preview of what people are typing. You can also decide if you want it to search a specific page. If I just wanted it to search the blog, right? Or maybe just my podcast or just the shop. You can use these for lots and lots of things. Okay, so let's delete that. The other thing I've done, you can see, is help with these categories. So I've created these buttons. Squarespace makes this super duper easy. So let's repurpose this. So if you click the little gear here and you type in blog, right, which is one of your pages, and then it says categories. And I've got blog categories set up. And that says, so I just do Squarespace. And that's as easy as it is. Like, it's so easy to create these categories. And so just make sure that in your blog, if you want to be able to sort by categories, that you use categories. And so the way that you do that is actually when you create a blog post, under options, categories, make sure to add your categories. So you can see this one, I have not added a category to. So there we go. I can add that category. You can add new categories like that, and you can manage all of your categories for your blog under advanced in the thing here. So I can update these, I can rename them, I can combine them, I can delete them all in here. So that's how I've done it on my blog and how I do it on a lot of my client sites if they have a lot of content. Now, if you have a lot of content, or maybe a mid-level of content, here's my other suggestion that I do, and I have this on some of my Squarespace templates, and I have it on a lot of my client sites as well, is to use a search bar. So most of my client websites, I will do a couple of things. So I will do this search bar just like I just showed you, and I'll have it up at the top. And like you can see in the settings here, I have it set so it's only to the blog. You can also decide if you want to display the preview or if you want it to be light or dark themed, right? And light or dark mostly just changes the color of this. It changes a little bit more when you don't have custom code on the site, but mostly it just makes it a little bit lighter, a little bit darker. It's not a huge difference. The other thing I sometimes do is I will create another filter section. So if you go to archive here, and you go to words, and then you can make it so it displays lots of different ways. So you can see, you can have this index, you can make it a list like this for all the months, and you can again decide how you want to group it. You can group it by year, you can group it by author, so if you have multiple contributors, you can do it by category, which is what I typically recommend. And I typically would do it as a drop down. And so then when people search, and I don't think this particular blog has categories set up, but when people search, they will be able to do drop down and find all those categories. I'll show you really quick on my blog what this looks like so you can get a better idea since I have my categories set up. So essentially, let's go back really quick. And if I were to add to this sidebar, because that's where I keep all of my stuff for my blog, if I were to add under the search bar a drop down for categories. So again, you can find it just under here, under archive. And if I go to blog and then display, and I want it to be a drop down, and I want to say by category, you can change the name of this. And then I would probably put some code into this to make it show up a little bit differently. And then I would want that to be grouped by category. It's sorted by name, or you can sort it by count or activity. You can also show group count. So I'll show you what this looks like. Let's go ahead and hit save. So let's make sure I'm in preview mode and not. So when people drop down, now you can see there's 11 blog posts about Ellie, features, 26 about Squarespace, tech tips, and people can search just by that. So I could replace all of those buttons on my website, all my buttons here, with having this by category, which allows people to self-select. But I really wanted it to feel a little bit more like, here are the things that you should help with. And I really wanted to make Squarespace prominent. So I've done it the other way instead. So those are your options. Help people find the content that they're looking for. Trust me, when you do, it will help you be more of an authority. It will help you seem as more of an expert, and they will trust you and your expertise more, and they are more likely to do the thing you want to do with them, work with you, buy from you, etc. So there you go. There's your tutorial for today.